Open Mic!
From the Edwin B. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Frank Kamola. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Good evening and welcome to the Open Mic Show here on 97.9 WHAV. I want to first thank our members and underwriters for making the programming here at our nonprofit community radio station possible. The phone number to call in to the Open Mic Show is 978-374-1900. Again, this week we have our trivia question. If you call the station and are the first to correctly answer it, you'll win a $10 gift certificate to use on any purchase you make at Kimball Tavern Antiques, located at the corner of Salem and South Main Streets in Bradford. And we're still looking for the correct answer to the following question. The folks over at Kimball Tavern Antiques have given us a couple of hints that may help you guess the name of this individual. And the question is, who is the man who lived on Lowell Avenue near Washington Street that collected and displayed all of the hubcaps that came flying off of the cars as they hit potholes in front of his house? The gentleman's nickname was Keister. His initials are CA, and his first name is Charlie. If you happen to know the answer to that question, just call us here. Call Chris Porter over there in Master Control at 978-374-1900. Also, as we do every month, if you know of anyone celebrating a birthday in the month of July, call 978-374-1900, and Chris Porter will take down your name and the name, address, and birth date of the person whose birthday takes place in July, and he'll give me the high sign to get you on the air as well. That person's name will be entered to win a 7-inch cake, chocolate or vanilla, from LBD's Second Generation Italian Bakery, located at 140 South Main Street in Bradford. Your brother, sister, mother, father, girl or boyfriend, significant other, neighbor or friend, call and Chris will take down all of the information. And later tonight, he will pick the winner for the month of July at the end of the show. Also, I have a $10 gift certificate off any cleaning services provided by Easy Way Cleaners. They have 3 locations, 143 White Street in Haverhill, 139 South Main Street in Bradford, and Hampstead Dry Cleaners at Colby Corner, which is at the intersections of routes 111 and 121A in Hampstead, New Hampshire. Just be the first caller tonight to become a new member or renew your existing membership at the $25 level, and this $10 gift certificate to Easy Way Cleaners is yours. And last but certainly not least, the nice folks at Jabberwocky Books in the Tannery at 50 Water Street in Newburyport have donated a book to us for tonight's broadcast. David Ortiz and sports radio talk show host Michael Hawley have written Ortiz's autobiography entitled Pappy, My Story. This book is currently on the top 10 list for nonfiction in the greater Boston area. Whether you're interested in getting the book for yourself or for an upcoming baseball fan's birthday gift or any occasion for that matter, it can be yours if you're the first caller to start or renew a $100 membership to Haverhill's own public radio station, 97.9 WHAV. Just call 978-374-1900. You have the option of either using a credit or debit card over the phone, or you can mail a check here to our studios. And once you've purchased your membership, we will make arrangements to get Poppy's book to you. On tonight's program, in the second hour, John Manila, one of the conductors of the Timberlane Community Band, will be here to talk about the calendar of events that the band will be appearing in over the course of the summer. He will be joined by 3 members of the band, and with Chris Porter's help in Master Control, one of the youngest members of the band will perform for us live here in the studio. In our first hour, I am pleased to welcome 2 guests from Emmaus, a provider of housing and support services to those individuals, children, and families in our community who are experiencing the challenges of homelessness, disability, and unemployment, to name just a few. This community-based organization was founded back in 1985. And I have to say that this description does not scratch the surface of the number of services this organization provides to help the homeless, but also to help individuals from becoming homeless. And, you know, I looked up some facts today from the years 2013 to 2014, and I have to believe, and I would think that Janine would confirm this for me, but I have a feeling some of these numbers have gone up in the intervening years. 38% of homeless people live in unsheltered conditions. 14% of the homeless are veterans. 22.1% of the homeless are children. There are 16,664 people homeless each night in the state of Massachusetts, and this one is really startling. The average age of a person experiencing homelessness is 8 years old. So, you know, there's no doubt in my mind that that number is on the rise. And with me in the first half hour is Janine Murphy, who's the organization's executive director. And in this first half hour, Janine is here to talk with me and all of you about Emmaus, her introduction to Emmaus, the history of the organization, and the great work they are undertaking to address the homelessness challenge in our communities. And I welcome her here tonight. And I want to mention one thing. I went over to Emmaus last week to meet with Janine. And when I walked in the front lobby of the building, there was a set of bunk beds in the front lobby. And, you know, it really brings home, you know, you see so much in the media, either in the newspaper or on television, and nothing brings it home to me than to walk into the front door of your offices. Because basically that bed is the person's home. 3 feet wide, probably maybe 7 or 8 feet long. That's their home, and it's startling to think that people are living in those conditions. So I'm very, very happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thanks, Frank. Thanks so much for inviting us. We're very happy to be here. And I think a couple of points that you made about those statistics. It's always very startling for people to hear about the average age of the person being homeless. So the good news and the bad news of that. The good news is most people, when they think of someone who's homeless, they think of somebody on the street walking around, maybe disheveled, maybe experiencing mental illness, maybe experiencing some substance abuse issues.
Yeah.
And so that's what has become like the persona of homelessness in America, when in fact, it's usually someone in a family. There's more people who are a composite group of a family that are homeless today, and that's where you get that statistic. Fortunately for them, there's no identifying factor when you're out at the grocery store tonight, stopping off to get a loaf of bread on your way home, and there's a family in front of you. You have no way of knowing if that family is homeless. So it's good for the family to not have that stigma and that, you know, association.
Right.
But the need becomes insurmountable, and it's so great and so vast. The other good news about our particular state we live in right now, and it has been this way for as long as I can remember, Massachusetts is the only state in the nation, and this is something we all have to be proud of, that has the right to shelter for families. What does that mean? That means, God forbid, if you or your family lost your place to stay with your children, Massachusetts says, we will put you up in a shelter. We will not let you live in your hotel room. We will not make you stay in your car and sleep. There's no other state in the entire country that does that. So that's really a phenomenal thing that we can do. Of course, even in our state, there's so much work to be done. When we first opened in 1987, we became an organization in 85. It took us a while to get the building together and our volunteers and everything, right?
Yeah.
So we opened, day one, we opened in 1987, and, people came working there, myself, many others, with big hearts, didn't really understand the problems we were getting into, and right away thought, well, here's the answer to homelessness. How Emmaus got started was there were people living at the park, living down at GAR Park across from City Hall.
Yeah, I read a little bit about this.
Yeah. There was a family there. A woman happened to be in a wheelchair, and her family were sleeping in a tent, sleeping on the park benches. And so our community came together and said, we're not going to have this.
Right.
We can do better than this.
This is wrong, yep.
This is wrong. The measure of civilization is how we take care of our poor, right?
That's
We can give that to Harry Truman or many other people who said the same thing. But our community responded, and from that we created a group of interested parties, a lot of people in the faith community, a lot of business owners, a lot of social service type folks came together, and we started this thing called Emmaus. Now, do you know what Emmaus means?
No, I do not.
So Emmaus, it's an interesting name because if you don't know what it means, sometimes people mispronounce it. A lot of times I get calls saying, "Is this the mayor's house?" And I know our Mayor Ferrantini would say, "No, that's not the mayor's house. I live at another address." A lot of people call saying, "We're Emmaus house. Are you the mayor's house? Are you Emmaus house?" There's a lot of mispronunciations. But Emmaus, our first executive director, Tom Bentley, happened to be an ordained minister at United Church of Christ. So he took the word Emmaus, comes from the Bible, and it means weary traveler. There's actually a city outside of Jerusalem that's called Emmaus. And in the Christian theology, that after Christ died and he rose from the dead, he was walking along this path, and it was all desert. And he came upon a hill where there was lush trees and water, and these two gentlemen came up to him and said, "Would you like to come and have dinner with us?" Right? And then at that dinner was where he showed himself to be Christ. So Emmaus means the weary traveler. It means wherever one or more are gathered, I'm with you. So that's the name.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that's the name. So once you get the name, you kind of, now you'll remember what that name is and what it means, but it's been a great thing for us to have that name. Sometimes it's a burden, but then once people understand it, they never forget it,
Yeah.
But, just last week, I'm sure you read some of the articles or saw on the news about this poor family that was living in a trailer in Haverhill. Did you see that on the news? It was a big, it was on Fox News, it was on Boston Channel News.
No, I didn't catch it.
And there was it was a situation where this family had lost their jobs. They have several children that are disabled. I don't know the family myself.
Right.
How we came to be involved in it was the city, Richard McDonald, the building inspector, called me, and we get calls a lot on occasion from the building inspector. And he found this family that was living in someone's driveway in a trailer. Wow. With 7 people in a 27-foot trailer. So we were able to put all of our resources together, call our friends down in Boston, and we were able to find some more temporary shelter for that family. Emmaus House was full, which is a lot of times the case.
I would say.
We serve 54 families a night. The building you came into was where Mitch's place is. That's where we serve the adults overnight.
Right.
In any one year, we can serve well over 370 different adults. A lot of people, thinking back to when I started saying, that person on the street, a lot of people point to that person and say, well, aren't you serving the same people every night? No. So we help people, everyone in Emmaus, their goal is to find permanent housing. And how we go about doing that is different for everyone.
That's excellent, right.
And our job is to help everyone find their way home.
Because everybody's got different needs,
that's correct.
Different size of family,
that's correct.
And different things that
everybody has different things going on.
Yeah.
Some people stay for a very short time, some people stay for a little bit longer time. In some ways, it's even more difficult for an individual to find housing because their incomes are so low, where if you have a 2-parent household and they're both working, they might be able to get a little bit ahead of the game quicker than an individual.
Sure.
But we have a lot of resources at Emmaus, particularly our housing group that does a great job helping people to learn how to budget, to learn how to engage the school system, to get their kids continuing on in school.
So your goal is really transitional.
Our goal is to help people find their way home, whatever that means.
Right.
Our goal is to help each individual reach the highest level of personal integrity that they can. And for a lot of people, it's very different. But everyone's goal is to find another place to find a permanent place to live. Emmaus House and Mitch's place are temporary, so they're not meant to be long period of time. And then the other thing that we're really proud of is over the years, our goal has been to develop housing. And so we have become what they call a CHODO, which is a Community Development Corporation. And we are serving people who earn less than 30% of median income. So we're serving the very, very poor.
Right.
Our folks, particularly our families or individuals, when they come out of Emmaus House, if they were lucky enough to obtain one of the units that we own, they're not ready for things like Habitat for Humanity yet. They're not ready for home ownership yet. They still need to, work and then form a, just the things you would do to get a mortgage, right? You've got to have a long employment. You've got to have a good rating from your landlord. So it's a little bit further down the road for some of our folks. Although we have known people that have gone out and gotten, been able to own their own home and things. And getting back to the first part again, when we were talking about the families and the stigma, it's still a stigma to be poor. It's still a stigma to become homeless. And I always say it's kind of simple, but I truly believe this. There but for the grace of God go you or I. Yeah,
it really kind of drives me nuts when people talk about, well, they choose to be homeless.
Yeah.
And
it's not true.
No, it's not
not
even
true.
close to being true.
People say that to me once in a while, Frank, and what I say to them is, well,
I'm waiting
maybe,
for this.
maybe
Yes.
it's true. I haven't met that person yet in almost 30 years, but I'm not going to be so blind to think that there may be somebody out there that does it that I've not met. But I have yet to meet the person that says, I want to live outside
What a
under
great
a tree
line.
in the blizzard.
In the 30 years I've been here.
I have never seen that.
Yeah.
And so that goes back to the stigmatization of poverty, also the stigmatization of mental health, because a lot of individuals that are out on the street have mental health disorders.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, Department of Mental Health in the state of Massachusetts, many things, some of the supports that they used to have, they no longer have anymore. So they
Yeah.
don't have access to good group homes for long term anymore. They don't have access to case managers that are going to monitor to make sure they're taking their meds. So what happens is, after they're out of their care, a lot of these folks fail. And then they end up with us. And then we are trying to get them back into mainstream services.
Right.
Our job is not to duplicate anything else that's out there.
Mhm.
Our job is to reconnect people with services in the area so when they move out, they can continue that on,
Right.
whatever that is.
Right.
He's giving you the signal. I don't know
Yes,
what that
he is.
It's a big signal.
The Red Sox are ahead by a run. Are the Red Sox ahead by a run? Is that what that's all about?
But some of the latest things we've been working on, aside from property development, which we now own and operate over 93 units of housing. A lot of people don't know us for that.
Yeah.
A lot of people do know us for Emmaus House. That's the big green building on the corner
Right.
of Emerson and Winchester.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful. But we're doing so many other things. One of the things we do is we have a diversion program. What is that, you say? That is a program where we're right down if you become homeless, the first place you would need to go is to the local DHCD, Department of Housing and Community Development office down in Lawrence. And our staff is right down there. So say you come in and you go in and you meet one of the DHCD workers. If you get approved to come into shelter, there's another process called diversion. Our staff will say, how about if we, instead of coming into shelter, you want us to go and talk to your landlord to see if we help to pay some of this money back, you can stay where
Right,
you are.
right.
Do you have a temporary place where you could stay with a family member for a few nights and we can find an apartment for you? It's something we're really proud of. It's called, the state has all these different words for how you work with homeless families and individuals, but one of the things they call this is upstream. We're getting people upstream, There's upstream, there's back door, there's a screen door. But we've helped over close to 200 families this year divert them from coming into emergency shelter and help to keep them where they were. So
Yeah.
add to that all the families we serve in shelter.
Yeah.
And this year in shelter at Emmaus House, we've placed over 86 families into permanent housing.
So
And
what
then
do you do on Tuesday? We're gonna take a break right here,
Okay.
and we're gonna come back and talk some more. We'll be right back on the Open Mic Show.
Open mic.
Frank Kamoa and the Open Mic. We'll
Not at
be
all.
right back.
No.
Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900. If you're enjoying this program, call and become a 97.9 WHAV FM member right now, or visit WHAV.net. Your membership helps keep vital community services on the air.
This is listener-supported community radio, WHAV. WHAV is the Merrimack Valley's Pacifica affiliate.
If you're looking not only to make money, but also to make a difference, 97.9 WHAV wants you. WHAV, the only Haverhill-based news source, seeks enthusiastic, creative, and disciplined on-air underwriting and web advertising representatives. Account executives are responsible for developing and supporting WHAV's radio, digital, and non-traditional sales and development strategy. Prior sales experience is desired, but some training will be provided. Receive a generous and above-average commission rate and opportunities for growth. To apply, visit WHAV.net and click Contact and scroll down to Jobs. Otherwise, call 978-374-2111, extension 111. That's 978-374-2111, extension 111. Make money and make a difference at 97.9 WHAV.
WHAV. Open mic.
From the Edwin B. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Frank Kamola. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
That's funny. I was just about to give out the phone number, and I forgot about the intro, and he's given it out like twice, so I don't have to do that. Janine Murphy is here. She is the executive director of Emmaus House. Oh, Emmaus. I keep
Emmaus,
doing
that's all
it.
right.
I
That's
keep
all right.
doing that. Emmaus. And we're talking about all of the services that this great organization provides to the folks in the community that are less fortunate than we are. And we're talking a little bit about upstreaming.
Yeah, up the
Yes,
stream. So
yes.
that's our diversion program. Another thing that we've just started the past couple of years that we're really proud of is the Duville Center. That's on Winter Street. It's called the Duville Center for Social Justice. So what's going on there is we have empowerment programs for the adults where we teach, job search, resume writing. We do all kinds of personal growth things like setting goals, yoga. We do all kinds of programming there for the adults who are at our family house.
Yeah.
And the folks that are staying at Mitch's Place or at a Safe Haven program. And, what we found is when people are in crisis, and you're in such a crisis like homelessness, it's a very difficult time to say, well, why don't you, go get a job with IBM or something, and sometimes the parents are in such crisis that we really need to, try to get them to relax and to feel good about themselves, and we're trying to get them to start to think about longer term goals. And how we're doing that is through this brand new empowerment program, and it's a wonderful program. We have mentors, we have budget buddies that happens there, we have volunteers that come in and teach people how to do budgets, and then that particular mentor follows along that family, coaching them. All these things that, a lot of times people will ask me, well, how do these people become homeless, and what I say, what I've learned is that the difference between someone who's homeless, who becomes homeless and comes to our door, and someone that doesn't but is still in the same circumstance, is that you have not only a family and friends that not only have the desire to help you,
Right.
but have the ability and the means to help you.
Right. And know where the help is.
Right. A lot of our folks, don't have a lot of families they may have the desire to help them, but they might be living in this new thing over the past 30 years called elderly housing, and they can't take in their children and grandchildren.
Yeah.
That's a big change that's happened in our society.
Yes,
Very
it most
positive
definitely
for the
has.
elders.
Right.
But I can't tell you how many families that I've seen myself with a elderly parent dropping off their child and their grandchildren in tears saying they can't stay with me. But so
Yeah, because as I understand it, there's a limited amount of time that a person in that housing can allow, I think, a
Yeah.
grandchild or
I
grandchildren
think
to
it's
stay
2
with them.
weeks.
Yeah.
I think it's
wow,
2
I didn't
weeks.
realize it was that short.
Yeah. So a lot of, and then through a lot of different, gentrification in Haverhill too, the family home is no longer. So people don't have a place to go and stay. And parents, have downsized. So they can't always take in their children and grandchildren, that type of thing. Getting a signal here.
Yes. I'm told we have a guest, caller.
Yes, you do. And did you hit the button on there too, so I can transfer a call? Yep.
On-
Okay.
On 2.
No, they're on my end.
Okay, what do I need to do?
Nothing.
I don't have to do anything. You-
Okay.
Why don't you put the headphones on?
Okay.
And is the caller there?
The caller is here.
Ah, who do we have tonight?
This is Brian.
Hi, Brian. How are you?
I'm fine.
Long time no talk to.
Yes, it has been a long
Yeah.
time.
What's
Now,
new?
I
Yes?
have had, well, I'm excited about the birthday cake drawing later on because I do have one entry in that, and
Yeah.
her name is Jackie. So I want to say hi to Janine.
Hello.
Janine's a friend of mine. Well, remember me, Janine?
Brian?
Brian?
Leslie?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Sir, of course I do. Certainly. How are you?
Good. And I've referred many people over to Emmaus House, and when I was doing more housing advocacy in my job, and I had a homemaker who used to work here, who was what I would call a success story coming out of Emmaus House with the various programs and the housing, and she's really done something for herself and her family.
That's nice.
With her training, and she's she's making some money. She's, paying rent, and, she's doing pretty well.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Brian. A lot of people go into the service industry as an introduction for,
Yeah.
first-line job.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different training programs that our families go in. A lot of mothers go into nursing aid jobs or aides of some sort, housekeeping and things like that. But, a lot of people who come into the shelter also have college educations, because it's also a misnomer that everyone who comes is not uneducated,
Yeah.
and that's not always the case either.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the call, Brian. It's nice to hear from you. I hope you continue to do well.
Well, I'm hoping that I can hold on to my house so I won't become one of those.
Yeah, it's tough. We hope you do too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, good to talk to you, and have a good evening.
Okay.
Thanks,
you too.
Brian. Thanks for
you.
the call. We have another call. On my end. Chris Porter in Master Control is going to rescue me here.
Okay.
Just like that. But it should be red, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is the caller there?
Yes,
Hi, how are you this evening?
pretty good. How you doing?
Not bad. Do you have a question or a comment for our guest tonight?
No, I have a birthday.
Oh, terrific. And what is the birth date?
It's July 24th. His name is Happy Birthday, Steve.
Happy birthday, Steve. That's terrific.
Happy birthday.
Yep. So he'll be put in the hat, and we'll have the drawing a little bit later on tonight.
Oh, okay. You're going to draw it tonight. Okay, thank you.
Yes, at the end of the show, and you probably know that the winner of that contest gets a 7-inch cake in chocolate or vanilla
Yeah.
from LBD's second generation Italian bakery at 140 South Main Street in Bradford.
Oh, okay. Is Tim Coco on the show anymore?
No, he's not.
Too bad.
We've got an expanded news department, and he's heading that up, and
Wow.
I'm helping him out by kind of taking this off the table for him.
Wow, I like Tim Coco.
Yeah, I do too.
Everybody likes Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm a volunteer here, so I have to say that, even if it isn't true. No, he is really a great guy, and I think we're all really proud of the fact that he has worked as hard as he has over the last 4 or 5 years to get WHAV back on the air, back on the FM dial,
Yep.
and he's a fantastic person. Very, very happy to have him in the community and to be volunteering here to help him
That's good.
with our broadcasts.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know him because I know his mother and everything. I used to work with her.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Did you have a question or a comment for Janine tonight about Emmaus House? And I did it again. Emmaus?
No, I don't know anything about that. No.
No. Well, we're all learning about it tonight.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the call, and good luck to your nominee for the birthday.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. I actually did that right. I can't do the beginning, but I know the ending pretty well.
Well, one of the other things I wanted to mention to you, I know we don't have a lot of time left, but another program that we've recently developed is called the Coordinated Entry. And what that is we belong to a network or consortium of cities and towns from Haverhill all the way down to Gloucester.
Yeah.
And this group gets together to determine how we're going to access funding from the federal government, from housing and urban development. And many of the programs, the permanent housing programs that we have, are funded through HUD. And what HUD has wanted us to do, and we're the leader, I guess, in our area, that's for sure, and I think we're ahead of most of the places across the country, is developing this coordinated entry, which means that a homeless person, wherever they are, from Haverhill to Gloucester, could call, could email Emmaus, Action Inc. in Gloucester, and LifeBridge in Beverly, and say, I'm homeless, I'd like to be on the list for housing.
Mm-hmm.
It's called a Housing First model, meaning we kind of meet people wherever they're at. And then once any of our agencies has an opening, we select the people by need. So when you, if you were to call or stop in, we would do a small assessment on you to determine the people who have the most need are the people that would rise to the top to get
Right,
access to that
right.
housing. So it's a way of kind of utilizing the housing in a different way. That's not all of our housing. It's a few of the units that we have, but it's a nice thing to do. And interestingly, we've been able to place a few people from Haverhill in other places that I wouldn't have even thought they would have gone. But
Oh, yeah.
by being on that list, a couple of our individuals, one of them got a housing subsidy down in, I think it was Somerville, and one was like in Weymouth or something. And it was
Yeah.
open. It was their choice if they wanted to go, and
Yeah,
they've gone, and
yeah.
they like it. They moved out, So it's been good for us that way. And oddly enough, most of our guests end up coming up first anyways for our housing. So it's all worked out really
Yeah,
wonderful
yeah.
for us. But it's an interesting concept. So people by need, it's just another way of making sure people can access services wherever they are. Some people may not want to come into the shelter, but may want to be on those lists for housing. So that's another thing we're doing. That's called coordinated entry.
Before we close out this half hour, if anyone needs to get in touch with you folks, either to volunteer or they're in need of services, how would they reach you?
Well, they can look us up on the internet, Emmaus Inc., EMMAUSINC.org.
Right.
And on there, they can access either if they'd like to donate, if they'd like to get involved in one of our events. Our cycle is coming up, and I know Gretchen's going to be talking about that in a moment. They can also, there's a click right on there that says, I need help, and they can click right on there, and that'll tell them what they could do and how to navigate. And then, of course, they could always call us. Our number is 978-241-3500, or 3400 is our main number, and get through that way. But I'll just leave you with this, is that, I really believe it's the work of all of us to help one another, and that's
Yeah.
the reason why we've been put on this earth. And it's very important to me, and I know the many 70-odd staff people that work there and work there for a long period of time, is that everybody who comes in our door, we call the folks we serve a guest.
Yep.
And we like to think of that person coming in the door, what if that was your mother, your father, your brother, someone that you truly love. And that's how we want everybody to be treated. And we want people to feel welcome. And I hear over and over again, sometimes people struggling out there because they're so afraid to come into shelter. And then when they get there, they say, I don't know why I didn't do this before.
That's
Because
right.
there's so much service, so much
Yeah.
help here,
Yeah.
But it's again, facing that stigma and feeling as though you failed. But we're there to help you. We're there to be right by your side, and it's all about love and compassion for one another.
It most definitely shows, and I really have to commend you and the organization and the years that you've put into growing the operation that you have to try to help people, and you should be very proud of what you're doing.
Thank you. Yes,
I'm
we
very,
are.
very happy that you had an opportunity to come on to the program. We'll certainly have you back on again to
Yeah, it
talk
was nice
some more.
to chat with you. It was nice to meet
Great.
you too.
Terrific.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. We're going to go to the news now. This is 97.9 WHAV Haverhill.
Frank Kamoa and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900. If you're enjoying this program, call and become a 97.9 WHAV FM member right now, or visit WHAV.net. Your membership helps keep vital community services on the air.
It's 7:03.
WHAV LP Haverhill.
Here's what's happening in local news. Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito helped usher in the formal opening of the Mayor James Fiorentini Bradford Rail Trail Saturday morning. Polito had been acting governor much of the week, while Governor Charlie Baker was out of state. While the majority of the City Council disagrees with the mayor's budget, many were on hand to congratulate him. Haverhill City Councilors voted last month to name the trail in honor of Fiorentini. Ceremonies took place on both sides of the half-mile path beginning at 10 a.m. The trail follows the former Pan Am rail lines along the Merrimack River between the Basilier and Como bridges. Team Haverhill, which is sponsoring an art walk of 5 sculptures, plans its own dedicatory ceremony in July. Artists who created the works are expected to be on hand. City Councilor Joseph Bevilacqua also plans to present an idea for additional parking and access to the rail trail at the council meeting Tuesday night. A 23-year-old man whose car burst into flames after striking a utility pole near Lafayette Square last week is now facing criminal charges. Christopher Carrier, 23, of 20 Dudley Street, Haverhill, has been issued a Haverhill District Court summons. He faces charges of unlicensed driving, reckless driving, leaving the scene of an accident with property damage, speeding, failure to stop, and attempting to steal a street sign. WHAV was the only media to report on the initial chaos. Carrier was apparently being pursued by police around 2:30 a.m. a week ago Saturday, down Broadway and into Lafayette Square. His car struck a utility pole near Faniff Insurance in Lafayette Square, according to Fire Chief William Liberty. The chief theorized the car hydroplaned while negotiating the corner and slid into the pole. Lafayette Square was closed to traffic, electricity was out, and businesses closed most of the day after that car struck the utility pole. The faculty of Whittier Regional Vocational Technical High School last week named the school's Educator and Support Staff Person of the Year. History teacher Alex Valhooley was named 2017 Educator of the Year. He has taught history at Whittier Votech for 25 years. Valhooley is also cluster chairperson of the History Department and a senior class advisor. Joseph Young was named Support Staff Person of the Year. Young has worked as a teacher's aide in plumbing, HVAC, and other shops during the past year. He is now being hired as a full-time electrical teacher for the next school year. 97.9 WHAV's first fiscal year with a full-service FM radio station ends Friday. And, well, money is tight. While the cost of placing the new FM on the air, engineering, legal, construction, and equipment was costly, keeping it on the air is a daunting proposition. Today's 97.9 WHAV FM is a public radio station. That means it's owned by you, the listener, and depends on listener memberships and business underwriting to keep going. Tom Bergeron, who began his career at WHAV in 1972, is among those asking for your financial support.
The reason I'm here is to lend my support to what Tim and company are doing here at WHAV. And again, just to quickly recap what we talked about, go to the website, find out how you can support it, whav.net. Everything you need to know is there.
As the only Haverhill-based news source, 97.9 WHAV is first with the news and delivers more local news more often than all other sources combined. WHAV is also well-rounded, bringing you your favorite music, community spotlight, local talk, and interesting features. It all sounds better than ever and reaches a larger footprint than the original WHAV. Visit whav.net to become a member. Remember, WHAV is the only Haverhill-based news source. There's always more at whav.net. In the Edwin V. Johnson newsroom, this is Tim Coco.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Priscilla Huff. The U.S. Supreme Court will hear the case on President Trump's so-called travel ban, allowing some parts of the executive order to go forward. The Swedish government says Johan Gustafsson, held by al-Qaeda in Mali since 2011, has been freed. Iraqi forces continue to push into Mosul, while the fight to retake Raqqa, Syria from the Islamic State is advancing as well. U.S. President Donald Trump is set to host India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Wave weather.
I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre with Wave Weather. Guys, tonight will be turning partly cloudy. We'll drop into the upper 50s. Now on Tuesday, it's going to be partly sunny. There could be a few afternoon showers and thunderstorms, though. Highs will be in the upper 70s to near 80. Tuesday night, showers will be ending early. They'll be followed by partly cloudy skies with a low of 55, and then mostly sunny Wednesday with a high of 80. Partly sunny Thursday, maybe a late shower, 80 to 85. A little bit of sun with a few showers and thunderstorms Friday. More humid, a high in the mid to upper 80s. I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre. Your next Wave Weather in 30 minutes.
97.9 FM, WHAV.
WHAV, Merrimack Valley, open mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Frank Kamola. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Yeah, I should turn the microphone on, shouldn't I? We're back here on the open mic, and I just wanted to run through a couple of things before we talk some more about Emmaus House and Emmaus. And one of these days, I'm going to say just Emmaus. We do have the trivia question, and that is, who was the man who lived on Lowell Avenue near Washington Street that collected and displayed all of the hubcaps that came flying off of his car, off of their cars as they hit the potholes in front of his house? And we had a couple of nicknames. We had a couple of hints at the beginning of the show. His nickname is Keister. His initials are CA, and his first name is Charlie. You want to call into Chris Porter, and if you call into the station or the first to correctly answer that trivia question, you will win a $10 gift certificate to use on any purchase you make at Kimball Tavern Antiques, located at the corner of Salem Street and South Main Street in Bradford. Also, as we do every month, if you know of anyone celebrating a birthday in the month of July, call 978-374-1900, and Chris Porter will take down all of the information and then put you on the air with me. And the winner of that contest, which will be picked earlier tonight, will win a 7-inch cake, chocolate or vanilla, from Albie D's Second Generation Italian Bakery, located at 140 South Main Street in Bradford. We also have a $10 gift certificate off any cleaning services provided by Easy Way Cleaners. Just be the first caller tonight to become a new member or renew your existing membership at the $25 level, and this $10 gift certificate is yours. And we also have David Ortiz's autobiography, Pappy. That was donated by the nice folks at Jabberwocky Bookstore in the Tannery at 50 Water Street in Newburyport. And all you have to do is be the first caller to start or renew a $100 membership to Haverhill's own public radio station. Again, if you call into 978-374-1900, you can use a credit or debit card or send us a check, and we will make arrangements to get this book out to you. So here we are in the second half of the first hour, and with me now is Gretchen Arntz, who is the Director of Philanthropy at Emmaus. And we're going to talk a little bit about an event that they have coming up in July. It's the Cycle for Shelter. It benefits Emmaus. It's on Sunday, July 23rd. And they've added, in addition to some of the other options that you have in terms of the length of the cycle that you want to do, they've introduced a new category that you can get into. It's called the New England Fun Ride. So welcome, Gretchen. And
thanks for having me, Frank.
You're very, very welcome. So tell us a little bit about the New England Fun Ride.
Well, this year we've added, we've always had a 20-mile route, and we always affectionately called the 20-mile cyclists our weekend warriors. The thought behind it is someone who doesn't really ride a bike very often, maybe just once a year, but is in reasonably good shape, who cares about our mission, cares about helping homeless people rebuild their lives, would be able to get on a bike and do 20 miles.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of feedback because the 20-mile ride we had, we live in Haverhill. It's hilly. Between here and Amesbury, it's not flat.
No, it isn't. Yep.
It's not a rail trail. It's hilly. So we got a lot of feedback that it was very challenging, the 20-mile ride for the weekend warriors.
Yeah.
The people who perhaps weren't, they might do other kinds of exercise, but they weren't training regularly to ride a bike.
That'd be me.
So that would be a lot of people. And yet those are a lot of the people who really care about what we do. They're not in this for the ride. They're not in this because they're preparing for another bigger fundraiser.
Right.
They're in this because they care about homeless people.
Exactly.
They care about the work we're doing to create permanent solutions for people dealing with homelessness. They care about the 2,300 plus kids that we served last year, under 18. They care about the fact that we helped 4,000 different people who are dealing with homelessness, and they want to be part of it. They want to participate. So this year we're trying something new. It'll be a guided ride. So we have volunteers who step up, who will lead the group. And we have we'll probably divide them up into two groups, perhaps one that's slightly faster and one that's real leisurely
And
paced.
that would be my group.
And we have a relationship with our premier bike sponsor, which is Riverside Cycles. They are located in both Haverhill and Newburyport, and they're willing to rent bikes for $15 if people want to rent a bike, and they will bring them to the start, which is at the Haverhill campus of Northern Essex Community College. And people can rent a bike for any of the options. The other options are 40, 62, and 100 miles. So you can rent a bike. You probably, if you're riding 100 miles, you're going to want a high-powered road bike.
Right.
But the bikes for the 20-mile are hybrid bikes. They're comfortable bikes. You know, they're comfortable seats on the bike.
Yeah, I've been down to the cycle shop and seen them.
Yeah,
and yeah, that's a nice, comfortable ride for a
It's a
person that
touring
doesn't get out.
bike.
Exactly.
You know, just for a nice ride. And we're going to have someone guide you, as I said, and the first stop will be Inglesby Farm. So we leave from Northern Essex Community College, and people will stop at Inglesby, and we've been working with the owner, Sheila, who's just fabulous, and there'll be, you know, some real New England treats along the way. The first will be a cider donut.
Yeah.
So you can tell this isn't like a race, because people don't eat donuts usually when they're riding a bike. But in
a
this
competitive
case,
race, right?
And we're going to, you know, have a chance for people to see the animals and the beautiful grounds at Inglesby, and you know they have restrooms there, so it'll be leisurely and people can enjoy
This is a great
the time.
idea. This sounds fabulous.
It'll really be fun.
Yeah.
And then the next stop will be, and they also have restrooms, will be the West Boxford Congregational Church. They've been a supporter of ours for many, many years, and they've been a host of a rest stop for many years as well. And then people will be able to stop there. And this year, we're going back through Groveland to Washington Park, and Carter's Ice Cream is donating ice cream. So we bought the tiniest, cutest little ice cream cones you've ever seen. They're teeny weeny.
Yeah.
And everyone who does this ride will get a small ice cream cone. So, you know, we consider it a New England fun ride because we have things that we New Englanders love.
If I was to do this, I would probably have to ask you to hang out there just a little bit longer so that I could eat the small one and then order a large one
There you
myself.
go. Well, the rest stop's not actually at Carter's. It's at the park. We're going to have the Carter's ice cream there.
So I can't divert a
Well,
group of
I
us.
think it might go close enough to Carter's. You could find your way there. That's for sure. And then we would see you back at the end. But New Englanders, what do we love? We absolutely love ice cream, and we love the cider donuts. So we thought it'd be really fun to showcase some of the assets we have within 10 miles or even less in Haverhill and in the surrounding communities. So we're really excited about that ride because we think it might encourage people. We actually posted it on Meetup. Many people who are listening may know about Meetup. It's a way people meet other people with common interests.
Yeah.
And we've got some members joining our Meetup group, and we have a few events leading up to the event for the Meetup folks.
Yeah.
A training ride. And so we're really trying to expand. We all talk about all of the media that's available to us now and social media. And, for us who are doing marketing and communications in nonprofit, how do we get our message out? That's a really interesting conversation to have.
It certainly
and
is.
so we have to be sharper. I've been doing this work a long time. And I've been at Emmaus. I was a founding board member, so I've known Janine for a really long time, and I've worked there for over 20 years. And nowadays we have to be even sharper. We have all these tools at our disposal, but we
That's
have to
true.
learn how to use them because everybody's using them.
Yeah.
So we have to be sharper. And so, we're really trying to think out the side of the box. What would be really fun and give people a vehicle for raising money to support us. We also have a very reasonable registration fee and minimum fundraising.
Well, what we'll do is we'll take a little break here, and when we come back, we can talk about that.
Sounds great.
Terrific. We'll be right back here on the Open Mic Show in just a few minutes.
Frank Kamoa and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900. If you're enjoying this program, call and become a 97.9 WHAV FM member right now, or visit WHAV.net. Your membership helps keep vital community services on the air.
Your membership enables WHAV to remain local and independent. Consider joining at WHAV.net.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Gary Best. Do you need to know if it's going to be hot or cold, wet or dry? Well, find out every half hour, 7 days a week with Wave Weather. I'll keep you in touch with up-to-the-minute reports covering the greater Merrimack Valley and beyond. It's WHAV for accurate weather when you want it.
Community Spotlight.
The Haverhill Council on Aging's walking group is looking for new members. With warmer temperatures finally a reality, the group invites locals to join its Tuesday morning walking group at Trinity Stadium. Interested individuals should meet group leader Sue Lagasse at 10 a.m. each week in the parking lot area between the stadium and the former Building 19 parking lot to the left of the stadium. Those interested in registering for the self-paced walking group can contact Kathy Bresnahan or Rita LaBella at 978-374-2390. Someone you know is on WHAV. To submit or read your own nonprofit announcements, click on the Contact tab at whav.net or email news@whav.net. In the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, this is Frank Camola.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Frank Camola. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Mike Show. I'm Frank Camola. I'm sitting here with Gretchen Arntz, and we're talking about the Cycle for Shelter to benefit Emmaus House that's going to be taking place on Sunday, July 23rd. There are a number of cycle events on that day, or I should say distances, that an individual can participate in. And when we left off, we were talking about the New England Fun Ride, and she started talking about ice cream and cider donuts, and that got my attention right off the bat. So let's see. We wanted to talk a little bit about how an individual can go about getting involved in this.
Right. It's very easy. If you go to our website, emmausinc.org, or as Janine said before, we are happy if people would prefer to call us at 978-241-3400, and they can ask for me or a member of the development team. But if you go onto our website, there's a link to the Cycle for Shelter event page, and you can sign up there. It's very easy to set up a fundraising page. Our event is very local. At Emmaus, 92 cents of every dollar that we raise goes directly into client services that help people that we serve. We have a very low overhead. And so when you do Cycle for Shelter, you can really feel good about the fact that the money you're raising is staying local and it's going directly to support people and help them rebuild their lives. It's not going into an abyss of admin and overhead. It's going into program services. And beyond that, our fundraising minimum is very low. It's $250. If you look at a lot of the big events that benefit, whether it's cancer, diabetes, leukemia,
There's a pretty high. There's a pretty high. There's a pretty high threshold you have to meet in order to participate.
Challenge, I think, is around 5,000.
Yep.
And that's a couple of weeks after our event. So this is a great event for somebody who wants to do something that makes a huge difference, that wants to get their feet wet, because we have a ton of support. We have ham radio operators, we have people on bicycles, we have SAG vehicles, we have motorcycle support vehicles. So you can feel really supported. Say you're an avid cyclist, but you haven't done a Century ride, which is 100 miles yet, or a Metric Century, a 62-mile ride, and you're feeling a little bit, I don't know if I can do it. Ours is a great way to get involved because it's a low fundraising minimum, it supports a wonderful cause, and it's tremendously supported. And I haven't even told you yet, we were talking about food, Frank, I haven't told you about the post-event cookout. We are known, people give us A+ on our food. We have this amazing cookout. We partner with a lot of area restaurants. We have Longhorn, Uno, Chicken Connection. They're
I haven't
all
eaten
there.
today. You're making me awfully hungry
They're
here.
all there. And then our own staff, we have a lot of staff at our family shelter
Sure.
who are Dominican, and they make authentic rice and beans, and they prepare that, and we have that as well. And people just rave about our food. And I've left some off for several years. We've had Bigots there with their delicious slush. We've had the Mix Radio ice cream truck. They've been there. It's like a food fest, honestly, afterward. And people hang out and really enjoy themselves. And we have a DJ, so we have music. And it's just a fun time.
Yeah,
And
see,
we
what
really-
I would have to do is show up really hungry, and then I would blast my way right through the route and get right over to the food tables.
There you go. That's what people do. And
Oh,
they,
sure.
They hang out and enjoy the time at the college. The college has been gracious. They've been our host for many, many years. And the campus, the Haverhill campus of Northern Essex Community College, is so pretty. In the summer, it's so lush and green.
I also think that one of the great things about having something like that after an event is there's a lot to be. You get inspired just by the fact that you're a part of a large group of people that are all working together in common to provide services in the community where they're needed. And
It's true. It's really a feel-good event. I mean,
Yep.
every year I see people and I feel for me it's become almost like a family reunion.
Yeah,
Because I'll
sure.
see someone, I'll see you, Frank. I'll see Frank. I see you once a year, and you raise $700 for Emmaus, and you give me a big hug, and we're sort of in this together. You really care about what we're doing. I'm doing it day in and day out. It's my livelihood and my mission, my personal mission, and you're there to support that, and I really appreciate you. And you're seeing all these other people who are in the cycling community
Yeah.
or in the community who are weekend warriors. So it is a very feel-good event, and I really have to, I make sure I thank our major sponsors too. The Merrimack Valley Credit Union, who throughout the year sponsors Emmaus, and they're an amazing organization, and International Cars, and the gentleman, Marshall Jesperson, who is the owner, CEO, and his wife Elena are tremendous supporters of Emmaus, and avid cyclists, and got involved with this years ago. And they're our presenting sponsors. And our premier bike shop sponsor is Riverside. They're the
Yeah.
Haverhill Bike Shop now.
Yes,
and
they
they've
are.
been great partners for us. And we have these awesome cycle jerseys, and they get matching socks for them.
Yeah.
And, people, it's just really fun. I mean, cycling has really enhanced my life. My husband and I now cycle. I don't go 100 miles, but we do a lot of rail trails and road cycling. We'll do 20, 25, 30 miles on the road, and it's just great exercise. But also there's this whole community of people who cycle, and it's a really
it's
fun
almost like
hobby.
a circuit.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is. And, I have to say I've met a lot of great people through being part of Emmaus. I mean, Emmaus has been such a huge part of my life, but
Oh, yeah.
the Cycle for Shelter, I also look at all these people who come and cycle and raise money for us, and they're so dedicated. We have a lot of repeat customers, a lot of loyal cyclists, and then every year we'll get new people coming in, and the new people will come with great passion and energy, and they kind of get added to the fold. So it's a great thing. The only thing with all of this we cannot control is the weather. And that's always the scary part.
Yep.
But, the fourth Sunday in July tends to be pretty good. We've had some really good luck. Last year it was very hot. But for the most part, we've had a lot of sunny 80-degree days in the last 10
Yeah, July's a
15
pretty
years.
safe month to do something like that. I think you're kind of playing a little bit of roulette when it comes to May and June.
Yes,
but you get
we
into
used
the
to do it early. And
Yep.
June was disastrous, and September can.
yes, it
we
can.
have a rainy
Yep.
fall too.
Yep.
So July seems to be, the best, and it's the fourth Sunday of July, so a lot of people have that on their calendar now.
Yep.
So they don't have their vacation that week.
Yep.
They know the Emmaus ride, and this year we have 5 Sundays in July, so it's July 23rd. So it's a little earlier than it is some years. But people are gearing up. You know, it's great with social media. You see everybody. I'm on social media with a lot of people who are raising money for Cycle for Shelter now. And
Yeah.
their stories of what our mission means to them and the impact. Like you said, the impact of seeing the bunk bed when you came in the front door. A lot of people share stories like that, or encountering people themselves who they meet, who they find out are homeless. And, you know, a lot of people, homelessness has touched their lives in ways that you might never know.
That's
You know,
right.
people we know at Emmaus, Janine and I have met people who, their brother, people, you know, in the community, business people, and it turns out they have a brother who has a mental health problem,
Right,
who's homeless.
and the thing is, people don't realize that this situation can happen to anyone.
Anybody.
You're not immune to the possibility of ending up in the situations that the people you serve are in.
Right. It can be rapid fire, a series of circumstances.
It certainly
rapid
can.
fire can happen. A job loss, a divorce.
A medical
Medical situation, you know, a bad divorce and you start drinking too much and then, you know, your life falls apart, you lose your job, or you can't work, you've got some kind of disabling medical condition.
Right.
Just on and on. Things just happen. It's amazing. And as Janine said, there's a lot of people who are in our shelters and housing programs who have college degrees, who had a career.
Yeah.
And people don't think this. They always think these people never work.
Right.
That's not true. I just
No.
want everyone to know that's
Yep.
not true. It's amazing. There's so many different stories out there, and what people go through in this lifetime can really be unbelievable, the hurdles people face in life. And, you know, it's great that we can be there for each other and help people and lift people up, because people experience hard times. And then there are people who move on. As Janine was talking about, too, we have many people who move on, and they're homeowners now. Their lives are together. They donate to us.
Yep.
You know, this isn't a life sentence. You don't end up homeless, and that means the rest of your life's going to be, you know, horrible. And
Yep.
some people, it's a period of their life that's difficult, and they need that hand up. They need to be lifted up and out of
Well,
it so
I have
they
to
can
say,
move forward.
just as I said earlier, it's a tremendous thing you folks are doing. There's so many areas that you address, and I think, as I said at the beginning of the show, it's the issue of homelessness. It seems to be it's an area where more and more help seems to be needed every year.
Yes, it's definitely not a social problem that's going away.
No,
You
it
know,
certainly
and
isn't.
it's coupled too with other social problems like food insecurity, and we address these other problems as well. I mean, we distribute food, fresh food to people, because once you get out of homelessness and you're living on your own, you may still be dealing with food insecurity because you're really low income and you now have a
It's-
roof over
yeah,
your
it's
head, but
basically
you may
this-
not have fresh, nutritious food. So
Yep.
we also, you know, mental health issues. Just there's a whole range of things
There
that
certainly
we
are.
work on the whole person. Like we see ourselves as an organization that really looks holistically at what do people need to reach their fullest potential, to be successful, to be happy, to have an abundant life. And, you know, we really take that mission to heart, and we couldn't do it without the community. Last year, almost 700 people served in some capacity as volunteers at Emmaus. Some of them multiple times a week, cooking and serving food. Some of them once a year at Cycle for Shelter. Because this event also needs volunteers. So if people are out there listening and they're thinking, I just can't ride a bike, or I just don't have the capacity to raise money, you might be able to spend 3 hours that day helping us.
I'll be in touch. I'll be in touch.
We'd love to have you.
Absolutely. I want to thank the both of you very much for coming in tonight. Again, the website for people to get in touch with.
Emmaus Inc. And the spelling, I will spell it out.
Sure.
EMMAUS
And a phone number.
INC.org. 978-241-3400.
Thank you very much for coming in tonight. And as
Thank
I
you,
said before,
Frank.
I'm looking forward to having you back in again to talk some more.
Will do. Would love
All right.
to.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome. We're going to take a break here, and we'll be right back.
Open mic.
Frank Kamoa and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900. If you're enjoying this program, call and become a 97.9 WHAV FM member right now, or visit WHAV.net. Your membership helps keep vital community services on the air.
It's 734.
97.9 WHAV. One of the things I've always wanted to do with a talk show is to not just get involved with the topics, but to get inside the person behind the topics. Because for every topic, for every issue, there's a person behind it with passion and compassion for whatever that issue is. And that's what your hometown is all about.
Your Hometown with Mark LeMay, Friday nights at 6:30 on 97.9 FM WHAV.
Wave weather.
I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre with Wave Weather. Guys, tonight we'll be turning partly cloudy. We'll drop into the upper 50s. Now on Tuesday, it's going to be partly sunny. There could be a few afternoon showers and thunderstorms, though. Highs will be in the upper 70s to near 80. Tuesday night showers will be ending early. They'll be followed by partly cloudy skies with a low of 55, and then mostly sunny Wednesday with a high of 80. Partly sunny Thursday, maybe a late shower, 80 to 85. A little bit of sun with a few showers and thunderstorms Friday. More humid, a high in the mid to upper 80s. I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre. Your next Wave Weather in 30 minutes.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin B. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Frank Kamola. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Gotta push the button. Welcome back to the Open Mic Show. I'm Frank Kamola, and in our second hour, I am pleased to have members of and a conductor of the Timberlane Community Band. I had Tim and I had John and the president of the Timberlane Community Band on, I want to say maybe 6 or 7 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have them back because they've got quite a schedule coming up over the summer. It's great music. It's a great story. And I thought for some of the people that aren't familiar with the Timberlane Community Band, I thought maybe we could run through exactly the composition, how it all came together, as we did in the first program.
Sure. So in 2000, Tony DeBartolomeo, who's the high school district music director, he had talked to several members of the community, and they talked about putting together a community band. So they did, and of course that first band was maybe, I don't know, a dozen members.
Yeah.
But through advertisement and just talking through the community, people started coming on board. And so that was 2000. In 2001, Tony approached me and said, you know, it would be nice to have a co-conductor, so we have two of us. So I said, okay, sure. So I joined, and it just really started to blossom. And then Jenny Busby, she came on, what year did you say it was?
2005.
2005. So Jenny came in 2005, and it's just it's just evolved, and now we include students, which at first it didn't. At first it was just adults,
right?
You know, but we've involved present high school students, and as you'll see when our other two guests come in, we've got a clarinet player who was one of my students in middle school, and now her daughter is playing with us, and so Melissa decided to come back and play clarinet. So it's, you know, it's really great.
Yeah. You had mentioned when we talked in the first program about the length of time some of the members of the band were away from any musical instruments at all, and then they heard about the band, and they picked the instrument back up again, and I kind of get the sense it's like getting back on the bicycle again.
Yeah, Ginny will,
I'm a prime example of that. I hadn't played the clarinet since I graduated from high school. And when I came back, it was 44 years. I pulled my old clarinet out, had it refurbished, with the urging of one of my neighbors. Gina had urged me they needed more certain instruments. So as I did that, I found that the music, the keys and the fingering and everything came right back to me.
Uh-huh.
And I was quite struck with the group and all the different ages, all the different abilities, and I was pretty happy with myself that I could still do it.
Oh, yeah, I'll
And
bet.
I'm getting a little better, too.
Yeah, you certainly are. And that's what's nice too, is because we there's no, you don't have to audition,
Mm-hmm.
none of that stuff.
Yeah.
So what we do is when somebody comes on board, we gear the seating by how they want. So when Ginny came in, she said, "I'm very comfortable playing third clarinet."
Uh-huh.
We said, "Great."
Yep.
You know, and if as she plays, if she wants to move up, which she's happy playing where she is.
Yeah.
But we've had members come in, start on a third part,
Mhm.
and after a while come to us and say, "Look, I'm ready to try something a little more challenging.
Yeah.
Let's do it."
Yeah.
So it's
I was amazed at the number of people within the Timberlane community that are into music and musical instruments, and the high school, the students in the high school are really into it, and we talked about what a great group they have at the high school level, and they're doing concerts all over the state, and they get into competitions too, I think?
they do. It's not really a competition, but it's they have all state
Okay.
where the high school students prepare pieces and prepare scales, and then they go and they sit in front of
Mhm.
adjudicators, and
Mhm.
they're ranked.
Mhm.
And then from that group throughout the whole state, they put together an
An
all-state
all-star
band.
Oh, yeah, like an all-star band.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And over the years, Timberlane has always either been right at the top, most of the time has had the most students not only auditioning, but the most students that get accepted to the all-state band.
Right, and then we also talked about what happens. You guys raise a certain amount of funds every year,
Yeah.
and you provide, I believe it is scholarships,
Yep.
for high school students that want to go on at the college level and into music.
Yep.
And you've got some other beneficiaries of the fundraising you do as well.
Yeah, they, the community band has purchased instruments for the high school.
Mhm.
Instruments that are fairly expensive,
Right.
and that maybe in the budgetary process wasn't budgeted for.
Mhm.
But the community band has said, "Look, we'll buy that instrument
Yeah.
and donate it to the high school."
Yeah.
These guys have also, through the fundraising, have done things in the community. Like, for example, at the Kimball Library in Atkinson, people used to come and we'd put concerts on there, and people just bring their folding chairs or sit on a wall.
Yeah.
So what they did was they put a little amphitheater in with the.
I think the last time you were here, you actually, I think, brought a photograph
I think we-
of
yes.
the amphitheater, and I think your son was, I think he was
Yes,
conducting
yeah.
that particular
the
event.
jazz band. Yes.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So they've done stuff like that, and
Mhm.
it's just giving back to the Timberlane community.
Uh-huh.
Because we get the musicians from the Timberlane community, and it's been a great thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what's going on this summer. I looked over the calendar, I want to say about a month ago,
Mhm.
and you've all got a pretty full slate going
Yeah.
on
I
up
didn't
in
know
the
if you
neck
saw
of the
the
woods.
calendar. I looked at my phone today, and I wrote down everything.
Very
So
good.
I said, if you want, yeah.
Fire away.
But the next one that we're doing is actually this coming Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
And it's at the Plastow Town Green.
Uh-huh.
It's the Volare Jazz Band.
Oh, yeah, they're great.
Yeah, it starts at 6 o'clock and goes from 6 to 8. And we're going to play right there. We set up on the bandstand because we're
Mhm.
small enough.
Sure.
And we do that there. And then on July 6th, the same group is going to play the Field of Dreams up in Salem.
You're right.
Yep. And then the concert band is going to be performing in Plastow from 6 to 8 o'clock on July 19th on the town green.
Yeah.
But we set up on the grass because we're too big to.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I found that out when I went to the annual.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, what a crew. My
Yeah.
God, yeah.
It is a crew.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we have fun.
Yes. Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that you have fun.
Yeah.
I've seen it firsthand.
And you had fun.
Yes, I did. Yes,
Yeah.
I did. What a great turnout too.
Yeah, it
that was
was.
that was a terrific
Yeah.
night. What else did I want to ask you? So that takes us through July.
Yeah.
And then we swing into August.
August 5th, the jazz band once again is playing up in Kingston at the Kingston Green,
Mm-hmm.
and then August 10th we're playing back at the Kimball Library with the
Jazz band?
No, with the full community.
Oh,
band.
with the full
Yep.
band.
But
Okay.
then on August 17th, the jazz band's playing at the Kimball Library,
Right.
and then we have. I see. Yeah, I had to go to the other side of the paper. September 2nd, Atkinson is celebrating its
250th.
250th.
Mhm.
So they're going to have fireworks, and they've
I like the
invited,
sound of that.
Yeah, and they've invited us to play for the fireworks
Mhm,
for that
mhm.
celebration. That's September 2nd, and then to round out the outdoor season, September 9th we play up in Sandown for their big. I think it's their old home day. I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
The whole Sandown has that. So
How often do you folks have to get together to kind of work all of this, get all your practice in and get things down? Are you pretty much good to go?
well, for the summertime we're good to go.
Yeah.
Our last rehearsal was
Last week.
last week.
Last
Mhm.
Thursday, yeah.
So we rehearse every Thursday night
Right.
at the high school at the PAC.
Right.
But last Thursday was our final rehearsal before the summer.
Yeah, because I mean you're out
Yeah.
you're out on the road.
Yeah, we're on the road. That's everything. So so we just kind of go. We go through our stuff, and we
Mhm.
just they learn it. Like Ginny practices 3 or 4 hours a day, and she hasn't. So we don't
Wink,
have-
wink.
yeah, we don't have to get together anymore because they practice at home. They pick up the slack at home for the summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a break right here from the open mic, and we'll be right back after these few messages.
Open mic. We'll be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900. If you're enjoying this program, call and become a 97.9 WHAV FM member right now, or visit WHAV.net. Your membership helps keep vital community services on the air.
For more in-depth coverage of the news, visit WHAV's website at WHAV.net. Your hometown just isn't about topics. It's about the people behind the topics and the people that are affecting those topics and that are being affected by those topics. That is what your hometown is all about.
Your Hometown with Mark LeMay, Friday nights at 6:30 on 97.9 FM WHAV.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin B. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Frank Kamola. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Welcome back to the Open Mic Show. We're talking with the members of the Timberlane Community Band about their upcoming summer schedule. And Christopher tells me that we've got somebody on the line that would like to speak with us. Are you there, caller?
Yes,
Hi, how are you tonight?
good.
Good. Do you have a question for one of our guests, or what would you like to talk about tonight?
I would like to talk about, maybe, like, if you could, if I can make a song suggestion, or,
A song suggestion for when?
and I also have something to talk about, I listen to your radio a lot, and I really like it.
Yeah.
Because my radio, it only like plays 6 stations, because it's kind of messed up a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And I actually really like it. I listen to it all the time. I listen to it when I do schoolwork. I listen to it when I go to bed. I really like it. You're doing a good job.
Oh, well, thank you very much. We're very happy to hear that.
Mhm.
And you had a suggestion for a piece of music to play on the radio station? Was that it?
Yes.
Okay. I got my pencil ready. What do you have in mind?
Castle on the Hill by Ed Sheeran.
Castle on the Hill by Ed Sheeran. Okay. I'll talk with our programming department and see what we can put together for you. How does that sound?
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much for calling. And keep listening. We love having you as a listener.
Okay, have a nice day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What a nice kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Castle on the Hill. This is something I'm going to have to learn about because it doesn't sound familiar to me, but when you're up over 60, there's a lot of things that don't sound familiar to me anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got to write it down because by tomorrow I'm going to forget all about it. So, as we were discussing the concert schedule, we also we didn't discover. We realized that as a part of that schedule, we've got a couple of parades to.
Yeah, Ginny, you had that.
Yeah.
Yes, we just, the band, 10 members of the community band performed at the Old Home Day in Plastow a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But our upcoming event is a parade in Raymond on July 4th.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, with the, as part of their celebration in
Mhm,
Raymond. It's an early morning parade, as I understand
But
it.
you don't march, right?
No, we ride on a vehicle, on a flatbed or a trailer in the back of a vehicle.
Sure.
And we entertain the crowd.
Yeah, and the thing is, let's see, that's the beginning of July, so you really don't want to be marching around in that kind of weather.
No.
That's terrific. 4th of July.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's see. Let's talk a little bit about the guests we have coming on in the next half hour. We've got a little bit of a surprise concert, I think.
Yep. Yep.
And tell me a little bit about. Actually, it's a mom and her daughter, and the daughter's going to perform.
Yes.
And both of them are members of the community band. And I have to tell you, folks, you really want to stick around for this because I was at the annual fundraiser, and she performed there. And this young woman is quite the performer. She really does an awesome job.
Yeah. Yeah, Nora's 7th grader. I believe. She's a 7th grader. And she started percussion in 4th grade with me at Pollard School. And she just took right off. She started playing. Not only was she playing just drums, but she really got into playing mallets.
Yeah.
The vibes and all that.
Yep.
And she's just really So we invited her. I said to the other conductor, I said, we've got a piece. I chose a piece called Classical Gas, which you heard. I said, but it features mallets. So I said, let's give it to Nora. And at first, the other conductor, Kurt, said, well, she's only a 7th grader. That's a tough piece. I said, I understand. I said, but trust me on this.
Yeah.
Give her the that the where they built the baseball field, build it and they will come.
Yes.
I said, give it to her and she will play it.
Yeah.
So okay, and they did. And she just took right off. And her mother was a clarinet player for me when she was in middle school. So, and Ginny's got some history with the family also, but Melissa came, I saw Melissa one time, I said, Melissa, because I do this incessantly, I see former students. I say, when are you going to come and join the community? Oh, I don't know. But Melissa finally said, yes, I'm going to do this. And she came back, she joined us, she's having a blast. And Ginny, you have some background with them, right?
I've known Melissa since she was in middle school because our son, was in school with her. And they happened to, we live near the school, and I saw a lot of the different students at various times.
Yeah.
But it's curious now to be playing clarinet seated next to somebody who's my son's age, which is, she was one of the original members, she'll tell you that, of the community band. And then as her family started coming along, she stopped playing for a while. But she's back playing now and enjoying it very much.
Oh, yeah. Unbelievable.
So we're 3 generations.
Oh, my God.
And your son Paul played saxophone.
Saxophone,
He played
yes.
saxophone in the band, yeah.
Now is she's got to be one of the youngest members of the community band,
She
right?
is.
Yeah, she is.
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like having some of the high school kids come and join us because it's good. it's
Oh,
good
yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
We kind of don't want to. We don't like openly invite middle school or elementary kids because
Right.
they're a little bit too young. to
Yep.
be- But Nora
Something
just
special.
was something special.
Yeah.
She just played so well that we just said we got to get her in this.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's fabulous. So how many members you've got? How many members approximately in the community band, roughly?
50.
50,
55.
And it fluctuates. 55, and sometimes anywhere 55 to 60 in that vicinity.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you've got the jazz group.
Yep.
And your son is the conductor for that group, correct?
Right.
Yeah. And there's how many in that?
There's there's 5 saxes, 4 trumpets, 4 trombones, and a rhythm section, drums, piano, bass, and so it's a typical big band. So yeah.
And how long have you been an instructor now up in Timberlane?
Oh boy. This is I've just finished my 38th year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So tell me, when you see an individual come through the door, a musician, I would imagine you can kind of, how would I say this? You recognize somebody that has talent pretty fast. Or
Yeah.
have you ever had any surprises? You're giggling over here.
I'd have to say no. Because we've had people who've come into the inn and have said, I'm not very good, I'm going to have trouble, and I'm really going to have, and I've always said, look all we want you to do is try, and you're going to be fine. And you know what? Yeah, you're maybe never going to be, the quality where you're going to go out and make a record. Who cares?
You're in perfect surroundings with the perfect group of individuals, and the thing is that all of you have been in the same place they're in. But particularly anyone who hasn't picked up an instrument in 20 or 30 years. There's a certain level of trepidation. But then when you're surrounded by people who have gone through the same thing, have taken that step over the threshold, and like you said earlier, you pick up the instrument, you get your fingers on it, you start playing, and next thing you know, it's all coming back to you.
Yeah.
What a tremendous feeling. And it's interesting how many musicians, will play the clarinet or a trumpet or a saxophone or whatever, and they put it down. They don't get rid of it, they just put it down.
Yeah.
It's over there in the corner. And then all of a sudden the opportunity presents itself, and next thing you know, you're surrounded by a bunch of people having just the time of your lives. And that's what I saw when I went up to the fundraiser, the annual fundraiser. I've never seen, to see all of those people just having such a great time, so entertaining. The crowd was really into it. It was a tremendous event. It was just fabulous.
And I think it's great, too, because to see people, Ginny, for example, who came back and stepped out of her comfort zone and stuck with it and did it. And I think it's a great role model for people to see people who step out of their comfort zone to do something like this.
That's right.
And become successful.
Yeah, and the thing is, you step out of a comfort zone, and then you cross over, and next thing you know, it becomes a comfort zone.
That's right.
It all kind of comes back to you.
The whole atmosphere is so welcoming because we have a tremendous music staff within in Timberlane. When you see high schoolers wanting to stay in the evening for 2 more hours to go to a band practice with a bunch of varied ages, it's amazing. And we've had father-son.
Yeah.
We've had a number of people that I know just in my section, in the section I play in, that have come back after many years. They finished college and they say, Mr. Manila, is the band still going?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, come on back. Maybe they don't make every practice. Maybe, it's just an easy atmosphere, and it's very rewarding. I feel very, very happy to be part of that group.
Yeah, I don't doubt it for a second. And it's terrific entertainment. It's first class. You've got it's a terrific thing. I'm so happy. And the thing is, too, I think it's so important for kids today in high school and in college to have these, if you want to call it extracurricular activities. I think the mentoring that takes place, being around people the same age as you with the same interests, I think that's very, very powerful way to engage young people. And I think it's very, very beneficial to them as they move forward in life, without a doubt. The extra, and the thing is that I think Timberlane is very fortunate because there are a number of school districts that have cut back on the arts, have cut back on these activities, and it's very, very unfortunate. And you folks up in that district need to be very proud of the fact, should be very proud of the fact that you've been able to maintain those programs, to fund those programs, to provide the scholarships like you do, to provide the instruments that might be too expensive for the program to be able to take on, and for the community to come out and support the annual event that you have, the fundraisers that you have. You all, and I'm sure you are, you should be very proud of what you've done. And so, let's see, we're coming up on the top of the hour. We're going to break away for the news here in about 10 seconds. And when we come back, I think we're going to hear some great soloists.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, we'll be right back on the Open Mic Show. This is 97.9 WHAV Haverhill.
Open Mic!
Frank Kamoa and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900. If you're enjoying this program, call and become a 97.9 WHAV FM member right now, or visit WHAV.net. Your membership helps keep vital community services on the air.
It's 8:01.
WHAV LP Haverhill.
Here's what's happening in local news. Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito helped usher in the formal opening of the Mayor James Fiorentini Bradford Rail Trail Saturday morning. Polito had been acting governor much of the week, while Governor Charlie Baker was out of state. While the majority of the City Council disagrees with the mayor's budget, many were on hand to congratulate him. Haverhill City Councilors voted last month to name the trail in honor of Fiorentini. Ceremonies took place on both sides of the half-mile path beginning at 10 a.m. The trail follows the former Pan Am rail lines along the Merrimack River between the Basilier and Como bridges. Team Haverhill, which is sponsoring an art walk of 5 sculptures, plans its own dedicatory ceremony in July. Artists who created the works are expected to be on hand. City Councilor Joseph Bevilacqua also plans to present an idea for additional parking and access to the rail trail at the council meeting Tuesday night. A 23-year-old man whose car burst into flames after striking a utility pole near Lafayette Square last week is now facing criminal charges. Christopher Carrier, 23, of 20 Dudley Street, Haverhill, has been issued a Haverhill District Court summons. He faces charges of unlicensed driving, reckless driving, leaving the scene of an accident with property damage, speeding, failure to stop, and attempting to steal a street sign. WHAV was the only media to report on the initial chaos. Carrier was apparently being pursued by police around 2:30 a.m. a week ago Saturday, down Broadway and into Lafayette Square. His car struck a utility pole near Faniff Insurance in Lafayette Square, according to Fire Chief William Liberty. The chief theorized the car hydroplaned while negotiating the corner and slid into the pole. Lafayette Square was closed to traffic, electricity was out, and businesses closed most of the day after that car struck the utility pole.
Business Bulletin.
Karen Gomez has been appointed president and CEO of Home Health Foundation, succeeding John Albert, who retired at the beginning of the month. Lawrence-based Home Health Foundation includes Home Health VNA, Merrimack Valley Hospice, and Home Care. The nonprofit has annual revenues of $60 million and serves 110 cities and towns throughout northeastern Massachusetts, the Merrimack Valley, and southern New Hampshire. The organization recently announced Haverhill's Merrimack Valley Hospice House will be called High Point House, in honor of major donors Stephen and Joan Clark, who operate High Point Foundation. I am honored to be selected by the Board of Trustees to continue to advance home health and hospice services to benefit patients and families in this region, Gomez said. Prior to her appointment as president and CEO, Gomez was vice president of clinical services for Home Health VNA and chief clinical officer of Home Health Foundation. 97.9 WHAV's first fiscal year with a full-service FM radio station ends Friday. And, well, money is tight. While the cost of placing the new FM on the air, engineering, legal, construction, and equipment was costly, keeping it on the air is a daunting proposition. Today's 97.9 WHAV FM is a public radio station. That means it's owned by you, the listener, and depends on listener memberships and business underwriting to keep going. Tom Bergeron, who began his career at WHAV in 1972, is among those asking for your financial support.
The reason I'm here is to lend my support to what Tim and company are doing here at WHAV. And again, just to quickly recap what we talked about, go to the website, find out how you can support it, whav.net. Everything you need to know is there.
As the only Haverhill-based news source, 97.9 WHAV is first with the news and delivers more local news more often than all other sources combined. WHAV is also well-rounded, bringing you your favorite music, community spotlight, local talk, and interesting features. It all sounds better than ever and reaches a larger footprint than the original WHAV. Visit whav.net to become a member. Remember, WHAV is the only Haverhill-based news source. There's always more at whav.net. In the Edwin V. Johnson newsroom, this is Tim Coco.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Priscilla Huff. The U.S. Supreme Court will hear the case on President Trump's so-called travel ban, allowing some parts of the executive order to go forward. The Swedish government says Johan Gustafsson, held by al-Qaeda in Mali since 2011, has been freed. Iraqi forces continue to push into Mosul, while the fight to retake Raqqa, Syria from the Islamic State is advancing as well. U.S. President Donald Trump is set to host India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Wave weather.
I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre with Wave Weather. Guys, tonight will be turning partly cloudy. We'll drop into the upper 50s. Now on Tuesday, it's going to be partly sunny. There could be a few afternoon showers and thunderstorms, though. Highs will be in the upper 70s to near 80. Tuesday night, showers will be ending early. They'll be followed by partly cloudy skies with a low of 55, and then mostly sunny Wednesday with a high of 80. Partly sunny Thursday, maybe a late shower, 80 to 85. A little bit of sun with a few showers and thunderstorms Friday. More humid, a high in the mid to upper 80s. I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre. Your next Wave Weather in 30 minutes.
97.9 FM, WHAV. .9 FM, WHAV.
Catch the wave, WHAV, Merrimack Valley, open mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Frank Camola. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Welcome back to the Open Mic Show. This is Frank Camola. We've had guests on from the Timberlane Community Band, and we've got a special guest in here tonight. Her name is Nora Theberge. She is 14 years old. She's a member of the Timberlane Community Band, and she plays the xylophone. And tonight, for us live here in the studio, she's going to be playing the cadenza from Classical Gas. Take it away. Nice job. That was fabulous. So, tell me a little bit about yourself. How long have you been at this?
I started in 4th grade with Mr. Ranella. And then, like, it was percussion, so it wasn't like just the snare drum. Like, you had to learn how to play mallets as well. And so, luckily, I had some experience with piano, so this was kind of easy since it's the same thing. Plus, I already knew how to read music, so that was kind of a jump start. And then I just kept moving. I looked at some harder music and just kept trying. And
you look like you're really having a blast.
I like it.
Isn't it a good time?
It's really fun.
And how much time do you devote to working on the instrument, to practicing?
I would say like an hour and 15 minutes every day.
Every day?
Every other day.
Every other day?
Yeah. So I'm homeschooled. So, but I go into the school for music.
Yeah.
So my band director lets me do the 8th grade band, even though I'm only in 7th. So I did that last year, and then before the 7th grade, there was a period in between. So that's when I got to practice. He let me like wheel one of these into the practice rooms. So that's when I got my practice time. Because at home I only have like a little small kit that I really can't practice on.
Yeah. You're really doing a fabulous job.
Thank you.
Should be very, very proud of what you've accomplished here. Is this an instrument that you think you're going to want to continue to grow your talents with, or are there really?
Definitely.
This is it, huh?
Yeah.
Good for you. Very, very nice. What else did I want to ask you? So an hour and 15 minutes every other day, even in the summertime?
No.
No, she gives you a break, your mom gives you a break?
Yeah.
Yeah? For how long? Take a little vacation from it?
Yeah, we'll probably. Oh, right. We don't even have one of these. So I can't practice at home, but I think that when I have my private lessons with my teacher, maybe I can get a little practice time before or after.
Right. Now, is practice tough, or is it something that you really look forward to?
I like practicing.
Oh boy, I can tell. Look at the look on her face.
I like trying. I like trying new things. I like sight reading and memorizing.
Do you ever listen to music of famous xylophone players?
I guess I probably should. But I do like to listen to classical music, like on the radio, like 99.5.
Now, does this instrument lend itself to classical music?
Not like there's different kinds of these kind of like mallet percussions. Like this is a xylophone. Like the ones that are mostly used in like a symphony are the bells that like ring. But like those.
I have to say, I didn't find out until today that we were bringing a xylophone in. And, you know, what I had done was I talked to John, I want to say maybe a couple of weeks ago, and or Catherine, I can't remember which, and I said, you know, you're going to come in, you're going to talk about the concert schedule that you have this summer. I think it'd be really cool to have one of your members of the band come in and play solo. Because we've done this before. We had a woman in a couple of weeks ago who was putting together a program with 11 other women to benefit the Cogswell Art Space. So that went really well. So I thought, you know, you got this great band, you got a lot of people that are really into what they're doing. So I said to Catherine, I said, you know, we should have a soloist in. So, of course, I'm sitting there thinking saxophone, clarinet, trumpet, and I had no idea who was going to come in and what they were going to play. So I get the message today from John. He says she's going to play the xylophone. So I go onto the internet and I know what a xylophone is, And so I look at the images, and all of a sudden I see these xylophones that are like, they go anywhere from about 10 inches wide all the way up to probably 1.5 times this. And I thought, gee, how are we going to get this into the studio? So, and how much time are we going to need to set it up? I said, well, maybe the stand folds up and the top is one piece, so it'd be pretty easy to get in here. And then I walk out into the lobby and I look and I go, wow, that thing looks like, one of the cars on a freight train. How are we going to do this? And I'll be a son of a gun, we got the thing in here. And it was definitely worth it. Is there anything else that you feel comfortable playing?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a break.
Okay.
Chris is going to take over in master control, as he always does, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes here on the Open Mic Show.
Open Mic!
Frank Kamoa and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900. If you're enjoying this program, call and become a 97.9 WHAV FM member right now, or visit WHAV.net. Your membership helps keep vital community services on the air.
Stay informed each day with local news, coupled with FSN's worldwide coverage. 97.9 WHAV is the only Haverhill-based news source. There's always more at WHAV.net.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Gary Best. Do you need to know if it's going to be hot or cold, wet or dry? Well, find out every half hour, 7 days a week with Wave Weather. I'll keep you in touch with up-to-the-minute reports covering the greater Merrimack Valley and beyond. It's WHAV for accurate weather when you want it.
Community Spotlight.
The Haverhill Pregnancy Care Group serves mothers and mothers-to-be who are receiving case management services. The group needs infant formula, baby food, and gently used baby equipment that will be distributed to these mothers in need. Donations of these items may be made at the Haverhill Pregnancy Care Group Center, 496 Main Street, Haverhill, or given to Rita at the Council on Aging, 10 Welcome Street, Haverhill. For more information, call the Pregnancy Care Group Center at 978-373-5700. Someone you know is on WHAV. To submit or read your own nonprofit announcements, click on the Contact tab at WHAV.net or email news@WHAV.net. In the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, this is Frank Kamola.
WHAV. Open Mic!
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Frank Kamola. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Welcome back to the Open Mic program. I'm Frank Kamola, and we've had, like a half a dozen members of the Timberlane community. And in our studio right now, we have the youngest member of the band. Her name is Nora Thurberg. How'd I do? Thurberg. And she has agreed to play some more of the music from Classical Gas. Take it away. Nice job. A round of applause.
Thank you.
That's terrific. Let's see. Is there a possibility we could take another break?
No.
No? Because I wanted to get everybody else in here. So if everybody wants to bear with me here for a minute, I'd like to get a couple of chairs in here and meet Nora's Mom, and we'll talk a little bit more about the band. How about that? That's right here. I'll get this off my head, that would help. Let's see, one more chair would be good.
Yeah, I'll get you one more. So,
Okay.
why don't you go ahead and I'll get this.
I have, Melissa, I have your purse.
That's fine, thank you.
You want to do this one, Frank?
Yep.
Good. All right. Go ahead, you go in. Switch up for the camera.
Here comes it.
There you go.
I'll stand up.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm just gonna.
Let's swing things around here a little bit. And you all need to slide up just a little bit so that we can get you in front of the microphone and hear everybody okay. So tell me a little bit about your involvement with the band. How did you get started? And
Okay, well, I've had 2 rounds of involvement.
oh, no kidding. Oh, right. Now we talked about this a little bit earlier. How you were involved and away for a little while, and then you get back involved again.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So my first involvement was when I grew up in the Timberlane School District and played in the band in high school.
Right.
Moved away for some time, and then my husband and I and our oldest daughter moved back to Plastow in 2000, and right away I saw a little ad in the community newspaper for community band, and it had been 15 years since I played, probably at least 15 years.
This is a you know, it's almost like everybody's story, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And-
yours was 15 years.
Yep. And so I thought, well, I'll call and see if they really mean that it's okay if your instrument is dusty.
Sure.
They did mean it.
Yeah.
And I played for a couple of years. Our second daughter was born in 2001, and it became a little bit too much for me at the time. So I stepped back for several years. Another 15 years went by. And then just recently, Nora was asked to participate through her involvement in the school band.
Right.
And I, of course, every time I walk into the Performing Arts Center, Mr. Manella or Mr. D or any number of the music teachers said, Melissa, you know, you can come back anytime and bring your clarinet.
The salesman over here.
Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And with Nora, they said, you know, Nora, you could have your mom come play in the band. And so then when she was asked to participate, I thought, well, you know, I could drive her over for 2 hours. And go back
as long as I'm there.
Or I could just stay. And then, as fortune would have it, Ginny had in the interim of my absence.
Right.
And I get to sit right next to her in the clarinet section.
Nice.
And we have a good time.
She helps me.
It took me a little while to, you know, to jump back in. When we both came in October, they were prepping and already well underway prepping for their Veterans Day concert, which is an incredible event that takes place at the Performing Arts Center, and they invite veterans and families to come in.
Oh,
and
no
enjoy
kidding.
The concert. It was our
What a
first together.
great
It was
idea.
a beautiful event. And they do a nice job involving, I believe, you can correct me, but there was a speaker who was involved in the military who came and did a presentation and kind of talked about what's going on.
Yeah.
And they honor the military members who were there. A lot of our songs have their themes.
Oh, sure.
So,
perfect.
Yeah, it was really something else, but it was a lot of music to learn 6 weeks.
Yeah, I would say.
So, you know, we do the best we can, and they're very forgiving.
Well, you know, we're obviously going to keep in touch.
Yes.
But when that date gets close, we'll definitely have you get in touch, or I'll get in touch with you, and we'll put together a community so that we can let everybody know that this has happened. I think the involvement of the veterans coming in to enjoy the concert, that's just fantastic. Very, very nice.
My little piece of this is
Yes.
our concerts are free, and we encourage the public to come because it's a lovely afternoon, usually a Sunday afternoon, the Veterans Concert is. And There are even refreshments provided by the
See, another
various-
event. Earlier I had like a buffet. Now I've got refreshments coming up in November. I got pretty much the summer and into the fall and into the winter pretty well covered now. This is great.
It's a pleasant afternoon. Is
Well, yeah. I mean, it was like the concert they did for the annual fundraiser. I mean, what a beautiful spread you had there. I mean, music, great food, great companionship. They had the contest for best costume. That was a hoot. These events that you folks put on, I just really have to hand it to you. It's just incredible. And you know, it's funny because I found out about this by accident. I was up in Plastow, and I was covering the election, and I happened to mention worked and the fact that we do community spotlights, which are 60-second pieces, and you may not be familiar, but we do a 60-second promo for any nonprofits that are having a fundraising event. So as I was talking to the Plastow town clerk, somebody else was sitting there. They were familiar with the band. They said, I know of an organization that'd be interested in this, and one thing led to another. And next thing you know, John was in here, and you guys are here, and I am really, really impressed with what you've all brought together here. I mean, you're just having so much fun, and I mean, as you said, you've got a great list of events. Not only concerts on the bandstands and in the towns. You've got a parade coming up as well. Almost every week from now through the 2nd of September, there's something going on in the Timberlane region of New Hampshire. And as I look back on listening to you tell me about all the events, I'm thinking, I actually asked, do you practice? And I thought, well, you don't have any time to practice. And it's almost like a practice every week when you're out there playing. And I'm sure at Roswell, the July 4th, that's got to be quite a time. Good for you. This is great. Let's see how much time we have left here. We got another 3 or 4 minutes. What else can I ask? There's about 50 members in the group, and
we welcome new members or people that want to sit in on a practice might enjoy listening, and
I'll raise my hand for that.
It's a very easy group to be with.
Oh, absolutely.
And if anyone is listening that has an inkling that they might be thinking, oh, gee, I'll pick up my drumsticks or my oboe or trumpet, come and visit us.
Yeah.
Come to one of the concerts, and truthfully, it is fun.
Now, do you, and I'm almost positive of this. The Timberlane Community Band has a website.
Yeah.
And they also have all of the schedule of the summer into September on the website, so you can go to the website. Would it be timberlanecommunityband.org?
I'll tell you exactly what it is.
Okay.
Okay, it's www.timberlane and then a hyphen.
Yep.
community-band.org. And there's also a Facebook page that you can find by typing in the Timberlane Community Band.
Right.
And there's a link from there as well. But there is a calendar on the website.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, and
Yep.
so you can scroll through, and it's easy to see whether it's a jazz band concert or a community band concert.
It was actually, now that you mention it, that was how I went onto the website and I looked at the schedule and I said, these folks have got a lot going on this summer. It's a tremendous piece of entertainment, great group of individuals, and I said, you know, you've got a lot going on. Why don't we have you come back on again? I've got to ask a couple of questions, though. What's your favorite piece, John? What's your favorite piece of music to play?
That we do?
Yeah.
You know, people ask me all the time, what's your favorite band? What's your favorite?
I
don't know.
You don't know?
I mean, there's every one of those pieces has something in it that I really like. Yeah.
What about you?
Stars and Stripes Forever.
Oh, yeah.
We've had the privilege of playing that at several events with his fireworks. And when they ever start shooting the fireworks up
Yeah.
at the second part of the chorus.
Right.
It just, I have tears coming in my
Oh, I
eyes,
don't
but I
doubt
have
it.
to watch my music.
And what about you?
It's a tough question. I several that we're currently working on, but I'll give you the mom answer. I like the ones where I know she's excited to play the part she's playing so that I can be picking it up.
Oh, yeah.
I'll save the one that I'm pretty sure you're going to say is your favorite, so I won't say that one. But there are a couple others, like Classical Gas.
Uh-huh.
It's hard to play and focus on my music when I know she's going to be middle.
Sure.
She opens it with a solo and she's
Yep.
playing through it.
Yep.
So that's a favorite of mine, as well as a fun, sort of dates me a little bit, but Pinball Wizard. When we play that one, it's kind of fun. And actually, there's another, Africa is another fun one.
Yeah, that's another
because
one.
there's a lot of fun marches. But when we kind of hit that my generation contemporary, I find that enjoyable. And she'll play her favorite.
And your favorite?
There's a song we play called Choreography.
Uh-huh.
And I like it because in the music I have to like jump around between instruments. They have like 2 measures to like run over there. And it's really exciting.
That's
Time I play
cool.
it.
That's very cool. Again, the Timberlane Community Band has a Facebook page, and they can go to the Facebook page, and is your schedule in there?
The link to the website.
The link to the website is on the Facebook page.
And oftentimes special events have their own postings. So if
Right.
you scroll down to the postings,
Right.
you'll see events.
Well, this has been fantastic. I'm so glad that you folks came in tonight. Good luck with the concerts this season.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to getting over there to see a couple of them myself.
Well, we thank you for helping
Thanks
us
for having
promote
us.
all this.
Yeah.
Happy, absolutely happy to do it. I think this is a tremendous thing for all of the people involved and for the community and the support you've received. It's awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good time this
We
summer,
will.
and I'll see you on the road.
Oh, yeah. anytime.
Thanks very much for coming in.
All right,
That
thank
has
you.
been the open mic show tonight. Chris Porter, as always, has come through in master control, and Cindy is over there with her camera taking shots of everyone, and we appreciate her help as well. Thanks all very much. We'll see you next week.
Open mic.
Join Frank Kamoa live on the open mic again next Monday night at 6:30. The opinions expressed on the open mic show are not necessarily those of WHAV, its underwriters, or affiliated stations. The open mic show came to you from the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom.
It's 8:31.
For live and local talk, listen to the Open Mic Show, Monday nights. You can also see the program at WHAV.tv. WHAV, the only Haverhill-based news source, and it's always free. Your hometown just isn't about topics. It's about the people behind the topics, and the people are affecting those topics and that are being affected by those topics. That is what your hometown is all about.
Your Hometown with Mark LeMay, Friday nights at 6:30 on 97.9 FM WHAV.
Welcome back. We almost forgot. Again, Master Control comes through. We did not get a chance to pick a winner of the cake, and we've pulled the name of Jackie. And Jackie will get she'll get a certificate in the mail, correct?
Yeah.
Right. And then she'll be able to go over to Albie D's second generation Italian bakery at 140 South Main Street in Bradford to pick up her 7-inch cake in chocolate or vanilla. Her a happy birthday.
Wave weather.